for anyone listening, whether it's an unfaithful partner or a betrayed partner, a lot of times we're helping unfaithful men do their own individual healing work. And we
Yeah.
have three pillars to that: the what have I done, what's my why, and the
Mm.
how behind the hurt. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of times just getting to the starting line of that healing journey that leads
Mm.
to the reconciliation process, that what have I done, is that
Mm.
therapeutic full disclosure process. I'm just coming back now to what you're saying. And so many times it's really, really hard for an unfaithful partner, especially if it's a man, and
Yeah.
especially if there's any underlying like pornography or sexual addiction involved. It's really, really hard because of that shame cycle
Mm.
to put everything out there and get all the secrets out and all the information. And if you could just talk a little bit about that shame cycle and how that sort of not only, so it's like this internal struggle because of
Yeah.
this addiction, but it's caused this rewiring. Because so it's kind of like, okay, what have I done? It's hard for me to share because I have so much shame, but I
Mm.
need to do that full disclosure process to get to the second pillar, which is what's my why, getting to that core root cause why, which is that's the source of the pain that I'm trying to numb, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then because of that pain, my brain has been rewired because some of these things that I've been doing to try to fulfill that need to solve that pain. And my brain has been rewired, which is what causes the justifications in my mind that tells me the stories that make it seem like it's okay to just watch a little porn here. It's okay
Yeah.
to not go to the family event, or it's okay to take a longer lunch break at work. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
if you could kind of maybe connect some dots in terms of that shame cycle piece and then how that contributes to that healing process for the unfaithful partner, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would say almost, if not everyone, but almost all men that I meet say, I really wish I could go through with it. I wish I could disclose. I wish I could stop, but I have no idea how to. So
Mm.
they want to, but they don't know what to go. And that's often also because that rewiring of the brain is so strong that it keeps you stuck in those rationalizations and justifications. And the shame spiral, we often talk about emotion. The heaviest emotion is actually shame. That's the hardest one to get rid of. And we compare shame and guilt, that guilt is really bad, but it's better than shame because shame makes you close down. You don't want to
Hmm.
talk about
Yeah.
it. You avoid. You become an emotional suppressor. Shame um, locks you inside yourself because it's so hard to break through from it. Um, when we're jag tappar bort mig. I'm sorry now. I'm sorry. I just lost it. Dog.
No, no,
I'm
that's
even
okay.
starting to speak Swedish to you. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I'm like,
no,
oh,
that's no problem. Where
yeah.
you're going and what I'm
We
really
cut
excited
it.
about
Yeah,
is like, I know you've worked with a lot of men who deal
yeah,
with this shame cycle, and we have to help them get to the point where they are comfortable, as comfortable as they can be
yeah, yeah.
going through this disclosure process, and then eventually getting to a place where they understand their core root cause why, and then
Yes.
understanding how that brain's been rewired. So I'm just curious, like from your experience, and especially
Mm,
because you have an expertise of helping men work through these things, not only on their own individual healing journey of going through those what, why, and how pillars, but also in a way that promotes that reconciliation process within the relationship with the people that they truly love.
yeah.
I'm just curious, like, what have you been able to do to help them? And what are some of those key things to understand in terms of that shame cycle that can help them move through that healing journey?
Mm. I would say one of those key things to do is to really look at it not from a moral standpoint. We
Mm,
don't work with the porn or sex addiction out of morals. We work with the porn and sex addictions from a relational standpoint
yes.
and from a healing standpoint. What do you need to do to heal yourself so you
Yep.
can change your behavior? And part of that is to work through that shame that is so deep and so heavy and that makes you emotionally suppressed. It almost locks you into yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
working through that shame, uh, the most helpful thing is to be absent. And that sounds easy. Okay, stop doing it. Yeah, if I could, I would. Being absent, stepping away from the porn, again, not from a moral point of view, but from the point of view of rewiring your brain again, to
Yep.
take it out from that kind of haywire overload sort of place where you are just drawn into the porn. You
Yep.
have to stay away from it completely, cut it off. You can't do it a little bit, just like an alcoholic usually can't have a couple of drinks and then
Right.
I'm
Right.
done. The easier way is to stay away from it, go cold turkey, stop it, and then deal with those underlying causes. Deal with the shame that have made you needing to suppress in the first place.
Right. Right.
Because if you don't need to suppress or numb or deal with anxiety or depression, then you don't need the porn, because that's
Right. Right.
usually what you use the porn for. And that's where we see the progression here, that from the beginning, porn is something nice and sort of cozy. And at the end of it, at the place where most men comes to us, it's not nice and cozy anymore. It's something that has taken over your life, yourself. You are kind of almost a slave to it. You need it to handle anxiety and depression. But the problem is that watching the porn creates new shame, because you're crossing your own boundaries. You're not acting or living by your values. So it creates more shame. And that takes you into that shame spiral. When you're feeling more shame because you're watching porn when you should spend time with your wife and kids, you have something new to numb. So what do? Yeah, you go to what you know best. You go
Yeah.
to the porn and numb yourself, to forget about for a moment, I'm feeling really bad. I'm not the man I want to be. So I watch the porn, you get the relief. And I don't mean only sexual. You get from the anxiety, you get the relief for a moment, last a minute or two or three. And then that shame comes back. You feel guilty, you feel ashamed, you start struggling. When you feel shame, you stay away from your wife because you don't want to deal with her and she's just
Right.
nagging at me. And then you go back to the porn. So that's the shame cycle we need to break.